Welcome back to Markets Today. I'm your host, Mbitha Moema. Each and every single Wednesday here on Markets Today, we call it a ladies' affair. It's an afternoon where we spend time with ladies in technology to understand what are their contributions, what are the opportunities that they see from where they stand, and how can we be able to learn or glean from their experiences. Tomorrow is a special day that celebrates women from an international perspective, accommodating and giving regard to women in the STEM segment of the economy. Ahead of that conversation tomorrow, today we are joined by two spectacular ladies, Sylvia and Stephanie. They have been studying engineering and have been looking at technology, and we want to hear their perceptions when it comes to the opportunity set in technology. Why are they in that space? And as they're getting out of their studies, what opportunities do they see, and what is the future from their eyes? We start off our one-on-one interview with Sylvia Ngari. A very warm welcome to you, Sylvia, to the show.
Thank you very much.
Sylvia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sylvia Ngari. I am 23 years old and I come from KU. I'm a student at KU and I study electrical and electronic engineering. And I was a beneficiary of Equity Leaders Program by Equity, and I was able to join that after Form 4.
Okay. And
I was chosen because I was one of the top students. I had an A, and because of that I was able to enjoy some of the benefits that come with being an ELP scholar. I was able to be part of the college counseling program where they help us secure scholarships abroad, and I was not able to do that, but still with that we are still able to get paid internships with them. So I was able to work with them for 6 months, and the offer is still available even after the first 6 months, where throughout your course of studies you can continue through your long holidays, you can still go back and work with them.
Oh, fantastic. So you are a scholar and you benefited from this by having top grades. And where did you come from in terms of the Kenya? Which county did you come from?
I'm from Nairobi County.
From the Nairobi County.
Yes.
And you studied in Nairobi as well?
Not really.
Okay.
I only studied in Nairobi during the first very few years. I went to boarding school in Mwea, in St. Mary's Boarding Primary School, okay. And then high school was in Kabare Girls High School, Kirinyaga.
Kirinyaga. Okay, fantastic. So you are coming from the Equity Foundation, you are a beneficiary of that foundation. Do you have an understanding or an appreciation of what Equity stands for and the element of technology at the bank? Or do you actually understand the studies that you're taking? How do they then integrate and help build a better business culture? Is that something that you interact with on your day-to-day?
As part of, when I was with Equity,
yes.
It was actually around 2015 when they were rolling out the Equitel program, and that was something new, the Equitel lines, and they have been completely advancing in technology. They have been trying to move with the space, because apart from the line that was launched around 2015, they also have the app that is very easy to use, and they also have a website that is both for an individual and also for corporate. So if you're a business, can also interact with your bank account via the web, and it's something very easy, and they're moving tech forward. They do not want to be left behind, so they're always trying to advance and get ahead of the tech space when it comes to banking.
Okay, fantastic. Then now you've gone to JKU, you are studying engineering, you're about to complete that. Is there any integration between your experience when you were at Equity back in the day when they were rolling out Equitel and your studies? Is there any combination? Is there any point of convergence between the two? In other words, do you see yourself then being able to contribute to what you saw at Equity and move it to the next level?
Okay, I studied actually electrical engineering and then specialized in telecommunications.
Okay.
But going forward, I'll not be so much on the telecom space, because if I wanted to, Equitel will actually be the first place to try out.
Yes.
Yeah? Because it's very much in line with mobile communications and networks. So when I get to the point where I want to go back to that line,
yes,
yeah, so Equitel will definitely be somewhere I'd like to join. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So then your choice of study, engineering, telecommunication, what's the motivation?
Okay, so in telecommunications, the motivation is that it's a field that's fast growing, and everything, we've come to a digital world, so everything revolves around communications, and communication has become the base, especially after COVID-19 came in. Yeah, so communication has to be fast-tracked. Everything has to be perfect when it comes to communications, because I do not think anyone would like to you know, to be lagging maybe when it comes to you having an online meeting, something of the sort. Yeah, so telecommunications ensures that all communications are done perfectly, that there is no delays, and that every service that is there can be performed with the maximum efficiency and with no delays at all.
Okay, so the spaces that you're in, your experience, whether you are interning or now looking, beginning to look for a job, you do see the adoption of technology in one way or the other. The fact that you can actually access Wi-Fi, there's mobile data, and I'm sure if you compare with other countries, you could say that our speeds they're not too bad. Price is another story altogether. But when you look at technology today, does it give you a better sense of your future in this country? Do you feel like there's so many opportunities, or are you finishing school and feeling like, okay, where do I start looking for opportunities?
Okay, when it comes to the telecommunication sector, yeah, in terms of the local market, I wouldn't say that there is much, because most of the companies that we can apply to very readily, Safaricom actually has a program for ladies, yeah, so women in STEM, women in tech, and they continually take in ladies, and it's a program that has benefited many, yeah. And apart from that, there's also Huawei. Huawei has helped, and they always have rolling applications.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of, especially when it comes to ladies, there's a lot of opportunities that are coming up in the tech space.
Okay. Then just before we came to the show, you're telling me about an interesting project that you have. So you are finalizing on your studies. I think you're finishing this year. When you look at technology, where do you actually see it playing a very important role in growing the economy of Kenya? Is it in agriculture? Is it in hospitality? When you're doing your projects, when you're applying your studies, when you're applying yourself to change the community, what opportunities do you see?
I am very interested in the field of agriculture, so I am more heavy towards the agricultural space, and I do realize that agriculture, especially in Kenya, has a lot of things that are wanting. Yeah, so, and there's coming down just from the farming level, yeah, before we get to the whole food supply chain. Right from the farming level, there's a lot that can be done. And for me, I am very interested in the embedded systems. I like embedded systems, and where we can do automation of agricultural systems right from the farmer's level. Okay. And so my project is involved in that. Yeah, so it involves automation of rice irrigation using alternate wetting and drying, where farmers can now automate the process of irrigation. Previously, farmers used to just continually flood the farms, but then at around 2014, 2015, Professor Mati from JKUAT introduced a system called System of Rice Intensification that involves alternately wetting and drying. So instead of continuously flooding your field, you can wet it for some days and then leave it dry. And the advantage of this is that you use less water, but you get a lot more yields and a lot more income. The research shows that that it's something that has helped, and also in May it has also been proven to work. Yeah, so I'm just coming in with automation of that process, because it's rather hectic for them to now start clocking in how many days are remaining for me to water or dry. Yeah. Okay. So that's it.
All right. So that sounds very good, and it sounds quite theoretical. Have you tested it? Have you heard of someone who's tested it? Where does it make sense? Because if you look at the rice consumption in Kenya today, it's largely from imports. We're bringing in a lot of rice, but then we also have rice from where that gets into the urban cities, and people are able to buy this. When you think from where you have been, and where I'm trying to pull out your experiences. So you have been the best in class, and being best in class has given you the opportunity then to get sponsorship from the best companies in Kenya. That's the Equity Foundation. You've gone to the best schools. That's JKUAT. We're talking about technology in this show, and you are a woman, and you're stellar. I'm trying to get to the point of then, out of all this theory and all these experiences, this thing that you are trying to resolve in terms of rice and irrigation and trying to use technology in agriculture, is it feasible? Put everything aside, put everything you've studied in class, what you're telling us. You think if you walk into Mwea today, would it be able to make a change? And then how then should we look at technology if it's going to make a change in our day-to-day lives?
Okay, so when it comes to the device, yeah, it's something low cost, because again, we're living, especially with COVID now, most people are now facing a financial crunch. Yeah? So a low-cost device that is easy, and it's not even big on the farm. It's something really little, and you do not need to it doesn't need a lot of powering.
Okay.
And so the requirements are very minimal from the farmer's standpoint, yeah? And it's a one-off subscription. Maybe if it's anything else that's needed, maybe just maintenance, just in case anything goes wrong.
All right.
So it's just a very low-cost solution for them that eases the work for them. They no longer have to do the work of maybe checking, counting the days, how many days are there.
Okay, so you know what it is. So have you already created like a prototype?
Yes, I'm currently in the process of finalizing the prototype. Yes.
And what are you using for your inputs? Are you using local material? How are you assembling it, and what's the technology behind it?
Okay, so the technology behind it is I'm just choosing a simple microcontroller chip, an Atmega 328, and some sensors, some water sensors to know the level of the water, and a real-time clock. And they are the materials, I can get them locally or outsource them, but mostly they're better sourced. They become cheaper when they're imported from China.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's where they sell a lot of electronics. Yeah, so they manufacture a lot of them there, so it's easier to import.
Okay, so you're doing value add out of getting imported assemblies and then now trying to solve a local issue.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. That's a very good initiative. I certainly wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So what do you need to be able now to move from prototype to I have a business, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm changing the agricultural space with a focus on rice?
Okay, thank you. So when it comes to my inputs, the things that I need, yeah, so I have not been able to completely go to Moya. Yeah, so the thing is currently, I just have all the base level things. I've done all the research. So, but I've not yet gone to Moya to test it out and also get some information, some critical information from the farmers and the companies, not really the companies, the bodies that are in charge of irrigation in Moya, like MEAD. Yeah, so that's the next phase, so going there. Yeah, and also in line with that, I'd like to mention that Chandaria Business, I'm an incubate of Chandaria Business and Incubation Center, and they're helping with these things. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and I've also, I think, enrolled with, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Let me just leave it at that.
Oh, that's well. I mean, I hear many things that you're doing, and you're very outgoing and very focused. I certainly wish you all the very best.
Thank you
and
so much.
I mean, we would like to hear your story of now fundraising and capital raising, because there are different platforms. I actually came in touch with a company called Possession, and it facilitates crowdfunding. So you can actually go there if you already have moved from prototype and you have a minimum viable product. So you've gone to Moya and you've tested and you've been able to get feedback. You can actually collect that feedback, document it, and put it in a report, and that can actually be used to say, this is how we can grow this opportunity. And then there's also another one we've come across, it's called Vilgrow. No, so you can actually go there and they do a lot of support for social enterprise, because there's an element of social enterprise in what you're talking about. So there could be also this additional resources outside of the operationalization of what you're saying. There's an element of then how do I access capital, and how do I need to start thinking about access to capital so that I can be able to scale my solution. So I'm very excited for you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Before we end this conversation, women in technology. Tomorrow we are celebrating women in STEM at an international level. What would be your parting shot just to any person who's watching this, because you are in this space, you do see the opportunity and the need for technology, you're young, you're vibrant. What would be your parting shot?
My parting shot is that the tech space is very ripe for women.
Okay.
Yeah, and the world that we are moving on into is a world that is very accommodative of women. Yeah, and women will be filling almost every other sector. Previously, we were in a very male-dominated society, but now there's more and more women coming in. So as a woman out there and you want to join the tech space, there's more than enough room for you. You're very welcome.
Fantastic. I wish you were somewhere I could actually thank you so much for your time and ask everybody to clap for you. But please, congratulations to you. We wish you all the best in your venture, and we hope to host you again here. Okay, that's our first of 2 interviews. We have 2 young ladies with us in studio. We'll take a break. When we come back, I will introduce our next guest for the show.